welcome to this week's episode of Sound the Alarm. We are here with Abe, Dave, Chuck, Max, and Brandon, left to right, from the Filthy Lowdown. They released 2 albums. The first one was in 2005 called Pure Filth. The second one was El Accidente. I may have fucked that one up.
You did. You got to start the whole thing over.
I know you start the whole thing over. We're already here. We started. It's done. So yeah, guys, welcome so much to our little humble abode.
Thanks for having us.
Now, I guess we'll get right into it. Laura, you want to say hi too while you're... I always fuck this up.
Hey, everybody. I'm over here just petting the dog.
All right, so you guys released Pure Filth in 2015 and then El Accidente. How do you say Alex? I'm sure.
It's good. It's Spanish, yeah. El Accidente.
El Accidente. In 2000, there's some songs that carry over from Pure Filth to El Accidente. Several songs. With El Accidente, I kind of like how you guys both start both albums with a talk track at the beginning. Bill O'Reilly was hilarious. I found myself fucking dying.
Well, we played Chuck for that one. He put that all together with the Bill O'Reilly.
That was so good.
Yeah,
I mean, it was kind of rooted in history. We really didn't know whether we were gonna track it or not, and we're just let's ask Bill O'Reilly, and he just screamed, and it really came together organically. So.
It really did. You wouldn't even you would have thought it was part of the conversation.
Right.
Yeah. We know Bill on a personal
I was say, Bill O'Reilly, punk rock.
We reached
out. Now, at the end, you also have constructive criticism, which was fucking hilarious. Now,
that was real. That was real.
Was it really? No way.
No, it wasn't real.
He was once a friend and is now very much not.
Because I was like, dude, you need to punch that dude in the face, or else I'll do it for you. That's completely.
I must be a fan of shit rock if that's what
Who doesn't love shit rock? So that's the guy that runs the Pittsburgh punk rock page. I actually grew up with his family and my family. We grew up in Little Italy. So we recorded El Accidente with Joe Queer in Atlanta. And he was like, I need to get on this album. And I was like, well, just send me a voicemail. You can say whatever the fuck you want. Just go wild. And what the fuck is this?
Wait an hour.
Sorry. Something popped up. He just did whatever the hell he wanted, and then we put it on the album because he's a huge supporter of us and the punk rock scene. So I was like, yeah, just make us sound shitty as possible. So he went for it, and that's what we got.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. I again was kind of pissed in a way. I was like, no. It's so funny because I'm dancing through this whole album because it's very rock centered. I'm gonna say, more in that 80s metal, 90s, late 80s metal and shit. Motorhead was definitely a band that kept coming back to me for it. And then he says this, and I'm like, no, he's so wrong. What the fuck? What is with this guy?
No, it was just a joke. So yeah, so you don't if you ever come to Pittsburgh, you don't have to just yeah, you get him, dog. Steve, if you hear that dog's gonna maul you.
Yeah, that's right. It sums up the punk rock attitude, though.
Yeah.
There's no respect. I mean, there's nothing. You could save the whole entire planet. There's no respect. You're still an asshole.
There's always gonna be a hater out there.
That's about the gist of it.
I don't think that
sums it up.
I don't think the plan was to be that thoughtful about it. It was just Steve just giving a shit. But
there's definitely something to
for sure.
The reaction. We're good friends with Steve. He's always supporting everybody. He's always cool. So when he did that, I don't know where that came from.
That was great.
Perfect.
Attitude. He's you're all fucking assholes. Go to hell.
Thanks.
Good job.
That is correct.
Now, you guys are from the Pittsburgh scene. So how is the scene? Not right now, but say pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID, it's
a weird scene.
It has its
it's a weird scene.
It has its shows every weekend. There's a punk rock show you can go to, but sometimes the crowds don't mix. Metal don't go to punk don't go to metal, and it's just you're all in the same fucking community. So you know what I mean. And we enjoy metal, punk. Obviously, we're very very. I mean, we love rap for God's sake.
A good time. I don't give a shit. If they got a good attitude, if they're not going to get up there and talk trash on you, you know, sometimes you go to shows and people talk trash or people want to compete, and it's like that just kills everything. Like, we don't give a fuck. We're just trying to have a good time.
Yeah. Is there like a personal story here? Maybe not divulge anything, but like
Slight ones. What's the best one?
There's just like small incidents where people get drunk and then just like, you know what I mean, like shit just starts flying out of their mouth and you're like, oh, and then like you just like, you know what I mean, you just insulted everybody.
Where was Pizza Spirit?
That we actually played in Canada. That was in Toronto.
Who was talking? Somebody was talking trash on. It was like a pop punk band, and they were talking trash on.
Call it all Captain, something like
Call it
that.
Captain. They were really poppy. It was like Blink-182 wannabe. So it was like super poppy punk.
They were at the show though. They played the show earlier, and then they were just like calling them out.
Somebody was talking trash on the pop punk band. They were like, these guys are a bunch of fucking pussies. And I went in the bathroom and somebody like said, I'll call them all Captain or something. And it was like, you guys are cocksuckers. Like, they're having a good time. Like, and that's exactly what that's it. So I can talk trash on the band that's talking trash. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Without naming them. So calling all Captains was cool guys. I don't know where they are now. This is like 4 years ago. How long ago?
Something.
Yeah, they were from like Edmonton.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a hockey blood rivalry. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe they were like French Canadian and like, or the Montreal and like Quebec were like fighting.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
It was like, you know, just
Sorry, we're hockey fans too, so we just you know.
Well, it's so funny, Americans, man. You guys just kill me every fucking time. So, being Canadian does not. I don't come out of the womb loving hockey. I actually do not like hockey. Like
This is bullshit. I'm leaving. I'm out.
every fucking American's like, what are you talking about? What is this? You know, like I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not into it.
I saw a video on the internet where Canadians are born out of ice water. Like that's not true.
No, man, we just don't flow from the rivers and shit. You know.
Oh.
Most of us do know how to skate though, but that was just because there was nothing else to do in the wintertime.
All right, fair enough. What part of Canada are you from?
So right now I'm in southern Ontario, but growing up I was actually close to the Arctic Circle.
Whoa.
It's cold. I figured out that because people kept asking, because I don't know Celsius to Fahrenheit, but minus 40 degrees Celsius is minus 40 Fahrenheit, and that was typical weather in the wintertime.
Did you ever fight like a flock of meese?
Me?
Yeah.
I love that you just called them meese.
We
Because I
always
say
called
this
it that.
and I can't get anybody else on board with the meese.
Meese. You got deer.
It's mooses, bro.
No, what you got? Goose and geese, and then moose and meese. That's how that works.
Have you watched one of our episodes? I literally had like a whole debate on this. No one says
I've watched a few. I don't remember the meese.
Mooses.
We went on for a long time. I think it was just Stupid Rat, actually.
It was because we do stupid things with Simeon. But I'm like, it's meese. There's no way in the English language that it makes sense for it not to be meese.
I mean, I think the important thing about the discussion is that the Pittsburgh scene is great, and there's nothing else to talk about. No, I'm just kidding. Slightly, divert back into the question.
It's been dead because of COVID, so it's like
it's hard. And like I feel like I don't know, Pittsburgh's like a Rust Belt, like formerly like a lot of like blue collar industrial workers, and like the punk attitude there, and like it can breed that. But I feel like the scene, like I'm saying this sort of making fun of myself, is like it's old. I feel like there's not a lot of young blood in it. I think that makes it tough. How do you get young people back into punk rock? I don't know. And that's something I don't think Pittsburgh's answer.
That is something we've seen. I mean, we don't have any young guys playing real punk rock. I mean, we have some people younger than us that we see playing some reiterations of metal.
Terrible promotion.
Wow.
Is one of the biggest reasons.
All promotion is terrible.
In Pittsburgh, it's not like that in all cities, but
I don't know. That's
the promotion and the behavior of the venues and the attitude of the venues is everybody's culpable for shortcomings in every situation.
I'll give you that, except for
in
Derek.
In Pittsburgh, the venues and the promoters do a terrible job of making the shit like events. This is speaking what's real. They do a terrible job of making the event something that's like something that that's something that you got to go to. Like it's all like if you're a hardcore fan of the band, you go. If you're not, you don't. Like I didn't grow up here, and it wasn't like that where I grew up. Like when there were punk shows where I grew up, it was like a whole fucking event, and they happened like once a month or fewer. And like if you were anywhere within the 45-minute area of Rochester, New York, which is where I grew up, and there was a show, like it was a big deal. And if you got to be on that show, it was a big deal. Like when you were young and coming up, like none of that happens. There's no shows that are like, for the most part in the punk scene, big deals. If you have shows, it's because you punk and you cross over and you're opening for someone else big that's coming in or something like that. That's usually like the biggest shows you get in Pittsburgh, is things like that.
Yeah, you guys do in Pittsburgh get a crap ton. Like you're talking to Canada here, who essentially gets no shows unless you're in Toronto. So the rest of Canada, because people don't realize Canada, it's like big city, 2 days later, big city, 2 days later, big city, which I feel bad for any touring musicians coming through Canada. And I understand their reason, because we're so big and there's not a lot of us, that when you do get those shows, growing up, I didn't grow up with shows, because who the fuck's going to go near the Arctic Circle? No one, right?
Meese.
Meese, yeah. Toronto was 12 hours away. There was no way anyone's going to Toronto. But say if like a smaller show did come through, like it was an event. Like people would just come right out of the freaking woodworks and just, you know, and it didn't really matter at the time for what. But you guys really, Pittsburgh gets everything. And I'm kind of jealous, because I hear my friends from Pittsburgh going like, oh, I'm going this show this weekend. I'm going this show this weekend. And I'm like, fuck you guys. Like, outside looking in. And it's an interesting perspective, because you guys, you know, Dave is saying like, you know, you like the smaller, bigger, but more centered show. Pittsburgh, it's almost want to hear like it's lost its luster in its way, because it's just show after show after show. How do you decide?
It's saturated, yeah.
And I will say, because Derek is a good friend of ours, he does do a great job for promotion. So you can't say everybody is
there's some
shit
good
at promotions.
people for sure doing stuff. It just
Well, I mean, even if you're doing good stuff and it's not effective, then it's still not effective.
I think sometimes it is effective. I just think the thing is, it's like, you know, you have only so few good actors really aiming to do these things and put the work that's necessary for them. And a lot of it's just sort of like a band calling a bar and hooking up a show because someone's in town, and then hey, come help these guys out on Tuesday. There's a Penguin game. Maybe you stick around and watch it. It's just like,
yeah, but that's not how you get young people involved.
That wasn't the argument.
Exactly what I was talking about earlier.
What about when we open up for mini?
Crack and heroin is how you get young kids into music nowadays.
No.
I mean, methamphetamines and pills. I'm sorry, I'll take it back.
I kind of get what you mean though, because I'm from Utica, New York, so same thing. You know, when a show would pass through here, everybody is going to go, because we don't get a super ton of that. You know, to where you take it to maybe Buffalo or Albany, where, you know, it's kind of like Pittsburgh on a smaller scale. You know, but you've got things going on every night, and you've got people kind of, you know, it's not that big of a deal to them. Whereas me, I'm like, oh my God, we're going to a show tonight. Yes. And everyone's just like, yeah, it's no big deal. It is a big deal.
Wait, where did you come from?
Autica.
Oh, okay. I know where that is.
So you said Rochester, right?
Yeah, I grew up.
Yeah, so you're a little west.
My aunt used to be the president of a hospital in Corning. That's not that far from Utica.
No. What a small world. Well, if you guys are ever up this way, you have to come and let me make you sandwiches.
Okay, we're down with that. I mean, we've toured Canada twice, so.
Have you ever had steamed hams?
What?
It's a Utica connection.
It's Albany exposed.
I've never heard of steamed hams before in my life.
Brandon's already quitting the interview.
Yeah, Brandon's leaving.
Who did you get that reference, or am I?
No,
I did not.
The Simpsons.
I don't think it's a Utica thing. I think that was like an Albany thing.
Yeah, it's a Simpsons joke. He's like,
no way. I do have to admit, I'm not like, I would go like to go out to shows and stuff. I try to hit up Boston and things like that. And, you know, last year when I was hanging out in Pittsburgh and stuff like that a lot, I spent a lot of time in Pittsburgh last year. And I like that kind of being able to go to a show on a Wednesday night and a Thursday night and again on a Friday night. Maybe Saturday we'll hit up 2 or 3 shows, and then Derek's doing a matinee thing on Sunday. You know, I love that. And like people like me like to take advantage of that. So it's sad, you know, hearing you say that kind of like there's others that aren't doing that. You know, if that was me, I'd be out there all the time. And it's like, okay, cool. So now what can we do to get the younger crowd involved in going to these shows on Wednesday nights and Thursday nights and doing these things, you know?
I told you crack and heroin, but I mean,
Oh yeah.
I guess
Maybe we should find another way.
all right, music. I mean, yeah, music should drive everything, but it does not.
Make
So,
punk cool again.
Yeah.
Make punk cool again.
Was it ever cool?
Yeah, I know. Like, it's like it's antithesis. Like it's supposed to. It has to be
Well,
cool without trying.
Well, I don't know.
People's trying to be cool now with you know, a bunch of whack behaviors.
Well, I actually have a funny ass story about that, and Chuck could probably tell me better because it was probably like one of our first shows out in Akron. Was it Akron? Where the dude was like, "Man, I loved your band, but you need cooler shoes."
I know.
like he was like, "You need some boots, man."
I
Like,
was wearing a pair of New Balance, and he was just like, "Bro, love the music. We played a lot of vibes. So that cover was killer, man. We're gonna get you a pair of boots or something." I'm like, are you kidding me? With the you be fashion pointers after you're telling me how much you like the show? It just literally it was a microcosm. I feel like of just what the difficulties you face in quote unquote the scene and like being cool but not being ironic about it. And there's just weird this weird in between where you have to like be successful and cool and punk without trying. It seems like it's supposed to be the mentality. I feel like that's basically NoFX's MO. Is like, we're cool but we don't care about it. Please buy this album and come to our shows. Like it's just weird.
Some kind of self-defeating aspect to it.
Right.
Well, I'm going to say something here, and I'm sure I'm probably going to get some shit from some people. I don't like that attitude. I think that's piss poor.
no, you're not gonna get shit from us because I mean, I dress with like a fucking I don't know. I dress like an asshole on stage. Like I have like.
Oh, see, no, I love it. I think it's great. It's fun. Like it makes me want to go to one of your shows. I see pictures and videos, and I'm like, that looks fun.
Well, I mean, like I the weather balloon, the flight, like I don't know, the one that I wear the most is like I don't even know where the hell we got it, but it's like silk and it's like has like a hot air balloon on it, and then I wear this stupid fucking tie. So like I guess I don't know.
Well, the original idea was like we're going to the office, but we're assholes and we're sick of going to the office.
Yeah.
So we wear and that kind of evolved into I don't know. I mean,
It just
They like to wear dress shirts that are cut off.
yeah,
That's literally what. Yeah, that's what it is. With a tie.
When I joined the band,
it's like if you had to work an office job and go to a cubicle and you were pissed off about it, you would wear ugly, dirty clothes. So we're trying to conform to the office routine while at the same time subverting.
That was at least the original idea.
So you guys are like workaholics in band form.
Yeah.
I mean, like slackers, like fuck work, like.
Let's just hit
There we go.
Slackers, though.
I just feel like ultimately it's just
Working
meant to be non-pretentious. Like, we just dress goofy. It's fun for us, and like hopefully you'll enjoy it. Like, yeah, he's wearing a dress shirt, but obviously that's great.
Well, and I said this to Terry earlier today because we were both listening to the album for the better part of the day today, and I'm like, it's just another one of those like feel-good records. Like right from the very beginning, you're just smiling. Of course, you have that voiceover at the beginning. You're like, what the hell? Like this is how we're starting this out, But it just rolls in and it keeps going. It's fast. The whole album's fun. It's pretty lighthearted. It's kind of aggressive, a little offensive, it touches on a little bit of everything that like punk should be, and it's hard too. We love like that hardcore kind of, I don't know. I don't want to really call it skate punk because I feel like it's a little more than that,
Way more skilled than any of them motherfuckers could ever do.
Damn, Dave, you just thrown it out there.
I mean,
he's not wrong though, and I said that to Terry again today. I was like, it is. It's that first song. I think it's Mischief. Like it just opens up with that like big rock and roll riff, and I was like, okay, guys.
I mean, I think like when we go into that. I know we covered an AFI, we covered Total Immortal one time. Like something AFI did that like in that song, it's like there's like real weird tidbits. Like sometimes they'll finish an idea by playing like a note twice, and they play it 3 times, and they play it 4 times. So like there's always little things that like you don't really notice, but when you notice it, like, oh, that's kind of neat. And I feel like for most songs we at least try to I think it usually just happens without trying, but you're always trying to like do something you're like, I've heard that before. And everyone kind of tries to find a way to, switch it a little bit, just so like something that doesn't make the ear just kind of go into like autopilot.
Yeah.
Sorry, you probably didn't realize with all of us, it's just like one question turns into like 25 minutes of us just talking, and I'm sorry.
So we gotta,
A big part that I found with your music is the technicality behind it. It wasn't just like normal, just quick strumming bullshit, you know, didn't really have any substance. You guys actually made music, like straight music. I can't, you know, every freaking song, like you guys did not dumb it down almost in the musicality sense of that. And like that must have taken you guys a long time to write, because I can't imagine you guys just showing up and doing that. Maybe that's how it's. I don't fucking know. But you guys really put some thought and didn't dumb that shit down.
Well, we appreciate the hell out of that, because that's
a big compliment.
that's huge. Thank you. And I mean, it takes us forever to write an album. Like seriously, we're in the process of writing right now, and like
We got a third one coming. We got 8 songs.
I think we have 8 or 9 right now. We're looking to do 10, but like, I mean, it takes forever just to get everything tight with like the technicality, and then like trying not to like, I mean, like, I don't know, just like putting like, so when Brandon writes, he doesn't leave room for vocals, so that I have to fucking figure out where to fucking put that shit, and it just pisses me off, and I'm like, I don't know where to put this.
Well, it's like whenever I write, I use a computer first of all. So it's like I write a drum part that nobody can play, and then I write a guitar part.
I can play them.
Yeah. Well, like right off the bat, like you do really well, but like, all right. So like we would try to teach like these drummers like these drum parts, and like more than half of them were just like, I can't play that. It's like, well, no, that's not really a surprise because it was written on a computer. But then whenever I write the guitar bits, I don't do it all in one stroke. Like I do like piece by piece by piece by piece, and then I'll write it like a solo, and then I'll speed that up to match the rest of the song, so it ends up being a song that none of us can really play straight off the bat. And then we have to like learn how to get it tight for like a month or 2 before we can actually play it live.
And then we play it live. Like through that whole album, there's not one song that's not thought out. Like every single song on that album, especially El Accidente, is absolutely solid. I rarely do I hear music that comes from punk to be this well put together. And to hear you guys actually going like it takes us 2 months to write a song, I absolutely believe it. Like I'm surprised it doesn't take you longer, to be honest. Because man, like punk rock and roll. Wow. You know, like that song had me like chills, and it made me feel like I wanted to like dance and smash it. But like I was so impressed with the technicality behind that song. You probably could have went without lyrics and it would have been a fucking hit. But the fact that you added that on top of it, because you have riffs throughout that song, and actually most of your songs, like every little part can be a solo, and that's, you know, it's insane to me. Like people don't ever put that much thought in the musicality of their music. They always like, when we talk to bands, they're like, I spent like, 3 weeks writing these lyrics and shit. You guys took what most people do with lyrics and put it in your music, and then added lyrics to it, and that's like mind blowing. Absolutely, it's perfect. I love it. Everybody needs to go listen to it because it's really good.
Thank you so much. That means like that's a huge compliment. Thank you.
It really is.
It is great, and we were talking to Jason from Western Addiction a couple weeks ago, and we got into like this whole discussion about how like the timing and the length of albums is key too. And this one was long, but it was long in a great way, and that was one thing that him and I and Terry were talking about. Was like, yeah, you might have 10 strong songs on here and you've got 14 total. Why add those extra 4? But I found on this album, there was no like weak contender that could have been or should have been left off. Like the whole thing rolled really well together. And like Terry and I all day today were like, oh, this one's a good one. Oh, this one's a good one. Oh, this one has me dancing. Oh, I just had a mosh pit in my kitchen earlier today, like, and it's nice to have like, I think it's almost like 45 minutes long too. That it's like a whole show.
It really is.
Really that long?
It's awesome. It's not just like a 20-minute album, really quick here and there. Like it's awesome. I love that.
Thank you so much.
Songs are like 2 minutes, right? They're like standard. Kind of looking at the lengths, about 3 to 4 minutes.
Right.
I think there's a couple 4-minute in there.
Yeah, like Twisted Mind's 4 minutes. There's a few that get to 4, but yeah, they all hover around 3. So like, and I feel like the good thing, like we said, it just happens that way. We don't like try to add in, necessarily anything extra just to make it longer. Just kind of like, I don't know, just feels right. You go with it. So
we actually didn't plan it, but 308, the song 308 actually ends on 308. We did not plan that at all. Like that was just like freak coincidence.
Yeah,
like
Dead on or just close?
Never noticed.
I didn't notice that, but that's pretty cool.
Another one of my favorite ones. Now you had it as letters in the first version, but then you went with 308 and actually wrote it out. Was that kind of planned that way, or is just kind of how?
That's Matt from the record label had something about that. I forget what it was. I don't know. It probably has to do with SEO or something dumb that I don't understand that makes it more accessible. I think that's purely like that was just purely what's what I'm looking for, like functional or logistic
semantics.
Yeah, nothing. No deep dark secret behind that one.
Algorithmic.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool that it ends at 308. I did not notice. I didn't even pick that up, and that's pretty cool.
I didn't realize that until I was just going through the album one day, and I was like, it ends at 308. I was like, that is fucking weird. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, can we talk about Tijuana Chronicles? Because I found that one to be extremely fun. It's definitely one. You guys have so many good songs that it was really hard for me to pick favorites. Like I just could not. It's almost impossible. But Tijuana Chronicles, you guys really stuck to that Mexican themed genre. You guys nailed it. It was definitely like, how did that one come about? Like,
I'm really lucky to get that one recorded. I mean,
yeah, that took a long time, but
we had no time. The whole drummer situation was the story of that.
Oh fuck, I forgot about the drummer situation.
Drummer he shut up.
Wait, time out.
This is not Dave.
I did not record this album.
Yeah,
just to be clear, which is however you want to take it. So you need to see us now because it's better than the album.
I will.
But continue, Max, with the story.
Well, yeah. I mean, who has the best memory of this? I mean,
when we recorded it or when we wrote it about?
Well, it was really just like.
We plan to stay. Okay, I'm just gonna do this. We plan to stay there for maybe half a week or something to get it done. And God bless you, Dan. But at the same time, Dan was like, "All right, I got a flight on Monday," and it was Saturday.
So we toured down to Atlanta. We toured down to Atlanta, and we got there on Sunday, right?
Saturday. I thought.
We got there. Okay, it's Saturday. And we were supposed to start recording Sunday, and Dan, our old drummer, was like, I have to get back to work on Monday. And I was like, dude, I thought you blocked off this whole fucking week so we record this album. Like, we toured down to Atlanta to record for a week, and then you're leaving in 2 days. So God bless Joe Queer and Ryan Kwando from the Atom Age, who actually came in and helped mix it, master it, all that shit.
We had to track the drums in record time.
We tracked the drums in 8 hours. So
Chronicles was one that was tricky. The timing of all that was just we thought there's no way we're gonna get this to line up. All this back and forth between the vocals and the timing. It was one of those ones where we have to go off of Abe telling the story,
right?
And while doing it on the fly, we didn't have it. Most of it's 8 measures of this, 12 measures of this, 8 measures of this. We know exactly what the structure is. That one was change.
And he didn't use a fucking metronome either, so we couldn't cut or paste or anything like that. It was just totally it was just a fucking shit show from the beginning.
That one again because that was amazing. We got that done and it worked. We thought.
Yeah, especially the La Cucaracha part or whatever.
Yeah, we didn't think we didn't think we'd be able to pull that off, and we barely did it. It was
Now, is there a song that you guys play while you're touring? If you guys are playing live, do you guys attempt that song or?
No, we normally stay away from that because
but I want to.
We have the right.
I would love to see it.
Somebody is so great. You build the whole fight thing up. Someone was about to kick your ass because you was messing with this girl, and then somebody hits somebody come, and even without the Tijuana Chronicles lead up. People go when we play that song, people lose their mind. And
Harry, what did I tell you earlier?
beat the shit out of each other, yeah. But think about if we had the story leading up to it,
the whole spiel, yeah.
and then people will really lose their
We'll do
minds.
it again eventually.
Like, and I bet we can get ourselves some extra play with the bars and shit because people probably want to go get some tequila shots then.
I always want tequila shots,
I mean,
Dave.
yeah.
Now,
You gotta goad me into tequila.
can we talk about the scene right now, which is virtually non-existent? Unfortunately, venues are, I'm told, shutting down.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to see how many don't come back. That's the question right now.
We've already lost at least 3 big ones in the Pittsburgh scene that are never coming back.
It's supposed to be Rex Stevens.
So I helped out with SOS 2022 for Pittsburgh. It's trying to help donate to save the stages and stuff like that. So I did vocals on that track, and then they're doing a great job. And I mean, but for the most part, we've lost a lot in Pittsburgh so far. It's just I mean, COVID's decimated pretty much everything. I mean,
Can't have a show.
I mean, well, yeah, you can't have a show unless you're playing like a picnic outside or like socially distanced. But yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff is just shut down, and it's terrible. Like a lot of places, like our stomping grounds and stuff, like when we first started coming up and playing, they're just not there anymore. So it kind of sucks.
Now, are you guys like a touring band, or were you guys able to work through COVID and shit? And still, we're in COVID still, so.
I mean, yeah, so tours were canceled. I mean, we played an outdoor show in October, but before that, our last show was with the New Bomb Turks in March.
Wow.
So that was like, and now, it's just writing. It's kind of like beating your head off a wall because like you're writing all this cool shit and you want to perform it. And then, you can't. So
I think punk rock especially, we need the show, we need the energy, we need the motivation. We don't have it because you're not going to play a show. So
waiting for it to get warm so we can play outside again.
I'm sitting with 3 feet of snow, so I'm excited for when shit gets warm again.
Yeah, no shit. Are you sure like shit doesn't flood? Like when stuff melts, like you have the breaking season or whatever?
Oh, yeah. I'm right next to Lake Huron. That shit floods all the time. Yeah.
You go salmon fishing?
Pardon?
You go salmon fishing?
So I used to run a fish derby back in the day through my.
Are you fucking kidding me? That's awesome.
What? Yeah,
What?
so I can tell you just by looking at it if it's an Atlantic salmon, a Chinook salmon, and there's the other salmon, but it's been a while. But I could tell lake trouts with brown trouts and just a few other fish. But lake trouts are relatively about like the biggest I've seen was like maybe 29 pounds.
Holy
But
shit.
they used to tell me about monsters that were like, I don't know, 50, 60 pounds. So
Fish stories,
fish stories, man. And I would like pick them up and shit comes out of them and they're all bleeding, gutty, and I plop them on the scale, write it down, put it in the freezer.
That's awesome. I love fishing. Actually, it's like one of my favorite things to do.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed.
Yeah.
and
I wish I had pictures on this phone because I'd be like, this is me holding this freaking aren't big where I am because they were introduced to the lake, so they're not natural to the lake. So they have a lot of hatcheries here, and then they pop them. It's not punk, guys. We're talking about fish, yo. And
No, fish
so
is
they're not big. Not like
fish is punk rock of the animal kingdom. Yeah.
You think?
I'm going with it. I'm going
If
with
we're
it.
going there, do you
That's
really
fine.
think?
They smell the worst. I'm going with that.
Wolverine.
That's true. All right, I'll give you that.
what the fuck?
Wolverine slashes.
They have a mohawk. Like most of them have the fin, the dorsal fin. It goes up. It's like a mohawk. I'm going with it, and it smells bad, so we'll stick with it.
Yeah.
All right. That's a fair argument.
All right.
I rest my case.
now you guys are writing new music right now, so can you kind of give us a hint as to the style, and are we going to be seeing a lot of what you guys did with Alex Dante and Pure Filth, or is it you guys are just kind of changing shit up a bit?
We're
I
covering
want to, but
nothing but Kenny G covers.
It's gonna be exciting.
It's going to be very exciting.
Smooth jazz album.
You guys want to give them a hint about what we're thinking about calling it? Because I think it's hilarious. Do you want to break that?
It's so secret. I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm actually
I don't know either. I want to hear.
So to answer your question, it's like if Motorhead went Calypso. That's what we're going with. I'm just joking. That's totally false.
Yeah, I don't want to make that. Like, I don't want to make it sound like, oh man, we're so just happens so naturally. But everyone kind of like pitches parts of songs, and everyone kind of comes from different backgrounds of like what ends up influencing their music. So I feel like we don't come in with necessarily like a blueprint. Like we want this album to sound like blank, or we want it to sound more or less compared to what we did before. Everyone just kind of comes in with ideas, and they kind of get squashed together. So I think you'll find a lot of the same. I don't want to say same because that makes it sound like it's not interesting. I think you're gonna a lot of things you like in Al Accidente. I think will come up.
A lot of this is inspiration.
Yeah, because a lot of like
with different outcomes.
The way that the process isn't changing. I feel like, but there will be just some different elements because it's just how like the seeds that started the songs, all come from different places. So similar, similar inspiration, similar.
I will give you one hint. We have a song called Meth Fueled Death Party on it.
Yeah,
so
I'm really excited.
Yeah, that's a good. That about sums up the direction.
Yeah.
And Meth Fueled Death Party, if you believe it or not, got
Max just
my harmonies.
I'm really excited about that.
So to answer your question, yes, you'll get the same kind of fun from Al Accidente. Sorry, that took too long.
Yeah, like how is it for your show? Because I cannot imagine anyone just sitting there and just staring at you guys. Like they would be I would be hopping. I would absolutely be hopping.
Sometimes you would be so insane that people like. So either you get people like going wild, which is fucking fantastic because like if you give us more energy, we feed off energy and we go fucking more ape shit than we already do. Like it's just like crazy.
We'll cause a riot if you push us.
Yeah, don't push us. But then you get those people. I don't know if they are just one of those like dudes that just like to sit in the back, like what I mean, like one of these motherfuckers, or like they're just like. I don't understand what the fuck these guys are doing with their fingers with the guitars. So some people just look at you like dumbfounded, and you're like, I don't know if this person's like saying like, holy shit, like look at the guitar work, or like, holy shit, fuck these guys. Like so, like I don't know.
That's really not the first part because again, like I said, the technicality behind all your songs is phenomenal. It's next level. It's not the same old like No Effects just strums it out. There's a little bit through El Jefe, and Melvin will come through a bit too. Fat Mike, well, it's just Fat Mike. And you come to expect that. But you guys aren't like that one bit. If you're expecting a No Effects show at this concert, you are going to be like blown away, first of all. Like, because it's like an elevated pump, like when I want pump, I think X was kind of to me a band like that. Just Descendants, Adolescence, it just had that elevated style that was just not that you guys aren't skate punk either, but it's rock punk, it's punk rock, like it's pure punk rock too. Like it's amazing. You guys really nailed it.
Thank you so much. I'll kiss you on the mouth. Thank you.
It's much appreciated.
Yeah, that I mean that's like the biggest compliment.
Yeah, just even getting that here and there just goes a long way. So
yeah, I mean it just kind of makes you like want to keep going and doing stuff when people actually get like inspired or like tell you guys are like good instead of just sitting there and just like my favorite people in the back of the crowd.
Well, like what I mean, like playing at the Craft House. And you were,
oh shit!
How's that honey mustard, you piece of shit?
So we played. What was it? Was it the last show? We played this big venue with the New Bomb Turks.
It's too big of a venue for us, yeah.
And like when they put us on, it's like 6 o'clock. So people were like, literally, it's like a Friday night. People were coming from work to go to the show. So people have to eat at the show. So like
we're also a multi-venue. So it's a stage, and then it's like a massive bar, like eatery area with tons of the HGTVs. They have a bowling alley. You can throw axes, all this bullshit. And you're like, hey, when I think of punk rock, I think of suburbia and like throwing axes. So I don't know.
anyway, so I mean, people were coming from work and going there. So obviously they're going to eat because they're going to be drinking and trying to have fun for like New Bomb, which is fantastic. But we're playing and like I mean, people are just eating and then like in between sets or someone's tuning or something, I'll be like, "You're fucking eating honey mustard, you motherfucker!" Like what I mean? I'll just start screaming at somebody about whatever food they're eating. I was like, "Who's eating fish fingers?" or like, "Who's eating chicken phalanges?" Whatever, and like someone will raise their hand. I'll be like, "Get that shit!" Like, and then just like next song, like so, just making fun of people's food selection at this multi-level.
It's like what you're saying though, because like we're playing and we're cranking it, we're doing it, but it's like we're playing early, we're opening up, and people aren't ready for us yet, and that's what we battle sometimes. I mean, a lot of the time, you work for a bigger venue, we're always battling that. We need people drunk, we need them buzzed up, we need them getting goofy.
We a darkness band. We cannot play until the sun is completely gone.
We need basement shows. We need like a garage and a keg.
Well,
not too big of a stage is like not punk rock, really.
I will tell you, as a person who's been sober for the last 12 years, your music's still phenomenal. Like, I don't need to be fucked up to listen to you guys. I'll listen to you guys all day, every day.
That's awesome. Yes,
you're more punk rock than all of us.
Good job with being clean and doing that as well. That's I know that's not the easiest thing on earth. That's for sure. So.
It's not, but it's kind of giving me the appreciation to be able to listen a little bit better than I wouldn't remember shows before, right?
Oh wow!
But you guys, just by listening to your album, that's kind of like one of the first shows I want to go to when the shit opens up. Like, and rarely is there a band that like I kind of go like, oh yeah, I'd like to see them live someday. You guys are kind of in the I want to see you guys live yesterday.
So come to Pittsburgh this summer.
My border is still closed. I'm still stuck in Canada.
This summer, it's gonna open.
Dave is part of the Canadian.
Tell these motherfuckers they can't tell you what to do.
Well, hopefully the border does open so we can have camp.
Oh yeah, Camp Pennsylvania.
Fingers crossed. We're kind of just trucking along, waiting to see what the world tells us we can do.
I wanted to ask you both about that. I mean,
I want to do that.
You want to do that? I want to have you on that. So I'll definitely be chatting her up and figure that out because you guys are great. You guys bring that whole. It's a different sound, but it's a good sound. It's hard, it's fast, it's rock. Like you guys are rock. I love it. I cannot.
You ain't seen shit yet.
Dave.
I can only imagine you guys in your cut off little work shirts and it's like really, as punks, we're all. I don't want to say we're all because Laura and I are in the unique position that it's our job to search for shit constantly. And there is new punk coming out and it is good. And if you guys haven't heard it, come back to us and we'll fucking shoot you some shit. But
dude, I sometimes like I just go back to like my comfort blanket. Like fucking, I could listen to the Bronx like all day long, like for like the rest of my life. But like sometimes I need to get out of that. And by all means, shoot me some new stuff, up and coming stuff. And then I saw that you like the Dirty Nil, and when the last time we toured up in Canada, we didn't get to see them, but we like talked to people that knew them, and that's how I actually got to know who they were and started listening to them, and like that the newest album is fantastic.
It's fantastic. I'm obsessed. Oh, don't even get me started. I'm obsessed. Both of those bands are my favorites. I love the Dirty No and I love the Bronx.
Can we talk about your musical influences? Because I do want to know what you guys. Because I have my perception of what your influences are, but I could be completely wrong here.
I mean, all of us kind of bring a weird dynamic. So I'm more like punk rock and metal. I know. Well, ska. Well, me and Max actually played a ska band, which is fucking hilarious.
What?
Yeah. We played a ska band called Barker's Beauties, and if you can find anything about that, if not, I will see if I can find some tracks and send them to you.
Yeah, I'd love to hear.
Chuck has tracks. So yeah, Max and I played in a ska band for many years. I think 5 years before called it quits and stuff and moved on to this. But So like I'm like that punk rock, metal, ska, and I mean like you guys can fill in the blanks from what I just said.
I don't know. Me and Dave are like the whole map. I mean, what have you never done, Dave? You never played in an orchestra.
Yes, I have. That's what I went to school for.
You played in a full 80-piece orchestra.
Yeah, like hundreds of times.
I didn't know you did that.
So like, Dave, you're a trained musician. Like that's actually you. Do you guys all have training? Because like that's the one thing that I wondered too when I was listening to this is these guys probably have been playing ever since they're 4 and maybe have had lessons and competed and did all that shit.
I mean, I've had voice lessons. I mean, not that I really need them for what I'm doing, but like, I mean, for breathing and like, you know, like actually like projecting from your diaphragm. I mean, that shit fucking helps. If not, my throat would be like blown out, like for what I do. Anybody else go?
I mean, yeah, well, that's me and Dave are like the trained musicians here. We spent endless hours practicing. I've gone through the whole spiel of jazz and fingerstyle guitar and classical guitar. And, you know, I got hooked on it when I was like 14, 15, and, you know, hours a day, every day. I'm sure Dave, similar story, right? I mean, got hooked on drumming and it was hours a day, every day for a good 10 years straight.
Similar story.
Yeah, you know, I mean, Chuck picked it up with us.
I got drunk at 26 and said I played the bass. I played, to be fair, I played guitar like for fun when I was younger, so I knew like obviously some of the basics. But being with these guys, it was nice because it was like a crash course. I didn't take lessons because I really had to keep up, so I had to learn pretty quickly. And luckily, they were really helpful in that. So
they put the time in.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I'm super thankful for it as well because they were patient with me and helped me really, you know, just like get technique down, stuff that I feel like is so easy now. And it just like, it actually makes me laugh though too, because I have kids when I'm actually a school teacher and I have kids that like pick up the guitar and I'm like, you listen here, you little son of a bitch. You're going to go to lessons, you're going to practice, and you're going to alternate pick, and you're going to play with your pinky, you bastard. All these like bad habits that you see guys do. And I'm just like, you know, thankfully, I had like some of the best lessons I can get just being in practice. So kind of a weird dynamic how it worked, but it did.
That's awesome.
And Brendan, what's your background in all this? Because you say you create everything from computers, so your background, you're pretty much putting what's in here onto like material form.
Yeah, that's basically what I do. Like, I started guitar whenever I was like 14. Max and I actually grew up with the same guitar teacher at our local music shop, Bud Breitenbach. Rest his soul, he died in the past couple of years. But that was both of our beginnings. And then Max kind of took the more like traditional music route, whereas I went for more of like the production aspect. Like I got really into like electronic music and things like that. Like video game music has been one of my main influences my entire life. That's what made me pick up the guitar in the first place. And I've just been really interested in that. So I get a little bit more into like the composition, mixing, mastering, kind of like the tone of things, like make it sound like good. You know what I mean? And I like constructing things. I'm not really even that much of a fan of music theory anymore. It kind of actually pisses me off a lot of the time, just because everybody gets like so into their rules, and like I feel like it's more of a way of explaining what you're doing rather than rules to try to follow, right? So I kind of gravitated away from that quite a bit, I've been producing music for since 10th or 11th grade. Bought a bunch of synthesizers and like all this cool music equipment and stuff like that. So that definitely plays a role in like how I write songs and just like the structure of things. So typically, like electronic music doesn't normally follow the standard punk format. It's just like chorus, verse, end, right? So like we need at least like 3 components. We need at least a verse, a pre-chorus, and then a chorus. Repeat that a couple times, and then there has to be like a different section, like a bridge section, just to keep your ear interested. It's almost like the ginger. Whenever you're eating sushi, you have to eat the ginger in between the other pieces to kind of cleanse your palate.
No, you put the ginger on top.
You're
No blasphemy.
You're uncivilized, Dave. Get away from me.
This is how we write a song.
Exactly.
Brandon, tell him about the whale noises too. You like to listen to whale noises?
Yeah. whale noises. This is actually, like, honestly, a lot of the music that I listen to, it sounds like a bunch of clicks and beeps and boops, and most people would find it unpalatable and completely unlistenable. But
really listens to music in Swahili.
Pretty much.
But when you're picking up those influences from everywhere, you can add just little tiny bits and pieces. That's always been a big thing about punk to me. It's that it doesn't necessarily encompass a genre. You can get everything and put it into punk. You can throw country in there. You can put rockabilly in there. You can put ska in there. You can put reggae. You can put jazz. You can put fucking classical. You speed that shit up a bit, and you get punk, and it's perfect. And you can be, the cool thing about punk is that you can be either completely technically perfect with it, or you can be off with it, and it still sounds perfect. I do find you guys are very technically perfect with your music. I do think there's so many, it's perfect. I do.
It's not, I mean, there has to be some push and pull to it. I mean, once again, we recorded that whole album without a metronome, which is insane to me still, like, to this day.
Well,
no, it's not.
That's a whole other argument.
No,
this interview is going to go for like another hour now. You said that in.
All right,
let's just move on.
Hold on.
That last
Hold on, I'll just I'll put the asshole hat on, and I will
we're not talking about
just move on to the next question, for the love of God.
You gotta talk to Dave about a metronome.
No,
Dave, you gotta play the metronome.
no. Okay, continue.
We're gonna argue for the next
Terry,
hour.
please ask another question before I kill myself.
All right, so you guys did go with the metronome, and I kind of want to know about it because I don't write music, I don't play music. I'm just essentially
You made it worse.
I'll wear the asshole hat.
Terry needs the asshole hat.
That album was recorded with no click track.
No,
and basically what that means is whatever happens naturally happens, which can be cool, especially if you got really good time. And if you play with the click track, there can possibly be negatives in terms of maybe you do want to speed up or slow down on certain parts, but you don't really have to do that. If you want something to feel like it's more rushed, you can play on the front end of the beat over the metronome, and if you want something to feel like it's pulled back, you can play on the back end of the beat, and they're both going to stay in the same time. And when it comes to recording, playing with a click track is what allows you to make those precise cuts and edits and things like that to make shit sound perfect, which makes the job of the person who's mixing and mastering much, much, much easier.
Now,
it prevents you from like speeding up too much or slowing down too much, because when someone like hears a song, they might not exactly understand why they don't like certain parts of it or certain things or the whole song in general. But that could be one of the reasons why, is either it pulls too far back or it speeds too far up when it's supposed to stay in the same type of pocket. So if you change your tempo too much, now the groove of the song is not what it was before. And whether you like it better or worse, you should have stuck with one, because that's how songs work. You got one groove.
wow.
You want to make a new groove, you start a new song.
Wow, that is, as a person who doesn't really necessarily understand the back end part of it, just because I don't play, for you to explain it in such a term that I could completely understand that just that little tiny difference will change your whole song. And Laura, did you ever think of that as a consideration for any music?
No, did you just see my face? I was just like,
what the fuck?
Professor Dave, he's just like, you should teach. You do teach in this. Never mind.
You are a teacher.
I'm really leaving. I'm like a complete ass.
So, Dave, you
talk about your job and your influence. My job pisses me off.
I love my job.
I try to play in a band.
My job's great, but I don't want to
sum
talk
it
about
up?
my job.
Fuck your job.
I like my
I
job.
feel like now we have to know what you do.
Yeah, we do.
What, like all of us?
Where
What
are
we
we
all
going?
do? Or?
Turn left to right. This is gonna be fun. This is our hour. We spent-
Left to
This is a new song right here. Fuck you guys, man. God damn it.
I wish I was a taxidermist.
Taxidermy. Just go do it, you asshole.
I'm just joking. I work.
This last 5 years ago, this guy wants to be a taxidermy.
Stick this in your mouth. I work in corporate America, so I'm just gonna let it go at that. Well, no, Dave, tell him what you do, Dave.
I'm a mathematician.
I do several things, but I work for the Pittsburgh Ballet for my day job.
Oh.
And, I play drums for classes at the school, at the ballet sometimes, but my main job is going in teaching classes with a dance teacher in the Pittsburgh city schools, which has been different this year. But anyway, that's my day job, and I own a recording studio.
Very
That's
cool.
my second job.
That's a pretty sick job.
We're talking jobs now.
I guess,
Well,
man,
dude,
we
just
going
tell me
down the line.
Well, I'm a guitar teacher. I'm a mathematician. I'm finishing up a degree in math. I don't know what I'm going to do with my degree in math. I'm going to get a job doing math. Hopefully it pays money. And I can keep playing music in enough free time that I have. That's about it.
You should make up like an angle on how to masturbate correctly.
I think we all know how to masturbate correctly.
I don't know.
No,
I don't know how to do it.
I don't know.
I can't get myself to go. It's crazy.
Yes.
Max, I'm gonna come back to that because I got a couple questions about that in a minute. But Chuck, what do you do?
I'm a school teacher. Teach high
That's
school.
awesome. How is it? Are you teaching them old math or new math? Because I don't like new math, and you need to
I'm a
stop.
German teacher. I don't teach any math.
Oh, good.
They teach Common Core where we're at, so they teach them the new math.
Yeah, Common Core.
Horse shit. 2 plus 2 does not equal Jello.
It does not. And Brandon,
I'm kind of like a combination IT help desk / paralegal at a global law firm.
very cool. So you guys are essentially blue-collared folks. You guys show up every day to work. I work for a corporation too, so you know, I just got back this morning. It was a nice little shift there.
Yeah.
I got to do spotting for a forklift. It was fun. My arms are sore.
That's pretty sweet though.
But before that, I was a procedure writer for the same shit before that. And Laura, we all know, owns her little sandwich shop.
Yeah,
I do.
I'm very jealous, and everything looks delicious. Everything like stuff that like put
Don't
on.
be jealous. It's a pain right in the ass, but everything is delicious. It's a lot of work, but I'm not one to. I don't listen to other people very well, so I need to be my own boss. I can run a team and I can get everyone on board, but I can't be on the team. I guess I'm a good team player. I promise. That makes me sound really bad, but I don't know. I never really kind of had to go to work and have like a boss. I worked for my dad when I was little, and when I was old enough, I was like, I don't want to listen to anybody else. I want to be able to make my own hours. I want to be able to make sure I can support myself and things like that. So it's a lot of work, but it's worth it, I think.
Our friend that we wrote Sex Owl about. So we actually wrote that about one of my best friends from high school. He actually owns a bar restaurant that we play shows at every once in a while. Actually, the music video was recorded there. It's called.
We're going to be airing that video at the end of this episode.
Oh shit! Okay. Well, I jumped the gun. I shot my wad early. I'm sorry.
Right, yeah.
But, yeah, no. So I understand the pain you're going through because like he calls me and he's like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "Yo, dude, I don't own a restaurant, but like, if you need to air something out, go ahead." So
It is. It's every day. I'll hit up Terry and I'll be like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry I haven't talked to you for 12 hours today. I've been making sandwiches all day long." And then there's other days where, it's pretty easy going, but COVID has definitely put a wrench in things. So we're trying to adjust, but everybody is, that's the same. Restaurant business, music business, every industry is feeling it in some way. So we're just kind of trucking along and hoping that it's over soon.
you can only hope. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Let's go to work.
Can't call it, but
About hope, when do you guys hope to release your new album, if and when?
Ooh, I would say summerish.
I mean, we have to finish like
Man,
2 more tracks.
We ain't done yet, so we're not making no official statements.
No, of course
We're
not.
still writing. Hopefully this year we will say that.
I hope so, because yeah, I really want to hear it. You guys just have to like sneak me some demos and shit, and I'll just be
Oh, we can definitely do that. That's not a problem.
just keep me tied over for a little bit. But yeah, guys, our hour has come, and it was fun. You guys are awesome. I love it. Definitely keep doing what you're doing, because you're doing it absolutely right. You know, thank you again so much. If we wanted to find your music, where would we do so?
Spotify.
Spotify, Bandcamp, mainly.
Yeah,
But
all of the streaming. No matter if you have Tidal, you have Apple Music, you have Spotify, whatever it is. Type in the Filthy Lowdown and you will find us. Like, I don't use Spotify. I use Tidal. A lot of people use different things. We're on all of them. Is the bottom line. Type in the Filthy Lowdown on any streaming device you have, and you will find us.
And I want to say a big thank you for the little care package you guys sent me. And Laura, I
wore my shirt for our Sunday spin this week. Actually.
Yes, yes, no problem. I as soon as Laura and I were talking about coming on the show and stuff, I was like, I definitely have to send you know, some shirts and hats and stuff, because you ladies kick ass. You're doing a great job, and you know, great job promoting and talking to everybody, and you seem like you're very, very busy. So want to show some you know music love from us to you, and thank you very much for having us on.
Yeah, and it's from us to you guys. Absolutely. Laura and I are fans, huge fans. Please don't ever break up. I don't care if you guys fuck each other or want to strangle the shit of each other. Just make it work. It is.
We actually, everybody except for Dave went to high school together, so we've been friends for many, many moons.
Awesome.
Yeah, there's been times where we want to strangle each other, but we love each other dearly. So yeah, we're all good. Just like curveballs.
Same age then?
I'm sorry?
You guys are all in the same grade growing up, or?
No. Me and Brandon were in the same grade. Max was a year behind us, and then Chuck was the youngest. Or he is the youngest, right?
How old are you, Chuck?
33.
Yeah, Chuck's the youngest.
Except for Laura.
Like, baby.
Baby.
33. Wow.
Old balls everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just
He's getting older and older.
My balls are the oldest.
Brandon has the oldest balls.
Yes, I have the oldest.
Well, hopefully they still don't sag enough that you can't play, because that's just going to be...
They're already there.
Tuck them to the side and shit. Just wrap them around your waist if you have to.
Yeah, strap them up and let's go, guys.
Yeah. Hey, Brandon, do you think you can hit a C chord with your ball sack?
Already doing it. The cart over there on the wall.
All right, well, guys, we had an absolute blast. Laura, what do we have next week?
So next week we are going to be joined by Hilltop Rats for an
Oh, nice! Yes,
that will be fun, and that should be another crazy one as well. So make sure you guys check that out, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah. Love y'all. Don't worry about it. Look who's out there.
Who wants to get laid?